I cringe as we pass by a group of elders at the mosque. I am the only woman not wearing a scarf, and I am hyper-conscious of my bare head and the slight exposure of my collarbone. I adjust my shirt because, despite my resistance to peer pressure, I've heard that my value as a woman is lessened by my incomplete modesty. I am swept up in a fear of judgment, wondering how they perceive me, and so I miss part of the conversation my friends are having. Earth to Miriam, my friend says. I never understood why we are taught to take our appearances so seriously. That in fact my clothes define my being more than my mind. Ask me why I don't wear the scarf. I've heard the question 1,000 times, often accusingly. Ask me my definition of modesty, why I don't want to stand out from the crowd. Ask me what hijab means. Ask me about my level of faith, my iman. Because to some of you, it looks like I have none at all. That Muslim girl, who's only a Muslim by name, she's too Americanized to wear the scarf. She's too she's too consumed with the impression of an outward image. She's too fill in the blank here to consider the scarf. She is less than her, the woman who covers her hair. I look at her. She wears her hijab with pride, sometimes seeing it as embarrassment, sometimes using it as a refuge, or sometimes seeing it as a burden. Sometimes she thinks it is all of that, but most of the time, nobody understands what it's like for her. It's an honor and a burden, and both are struggles. You can never know what it's like for her, just like you don't know what it's like for me. To my scarf sisters, it is unfair that you bear my burden of Islamophobia as well as your own. And I am sorry that I can sometimes escape from the same situation that would leave you feeling scarred and vulnerable. So thank you for demonstrating what it is to be courageously and unapologetically yourself. To my unscarfed sisters, are we shameful? Are we poor, lost, vain, misguided women? I wish I could show you the amount of colorful labels thrown on us, sometimes by my own ummah, my own brother and sisterhood. It's a hard thing to be part of a family, one with high expectations of you, sometimes with only one perspective of what is right. A blessing, yes, but sometimes a curse. So I ask you, who are you to judge? Do you know me? Do you know my Islam? At times, I feel like I stand between two worlds, and it seems to be so vitally important to my social survival that I look and act like the rest of my peers. We were always told to be outstanding, yet from where I stand, this path is not clear. I have a choice to make. Do I stand uncomfortably in the Muslim world along with my non-scarf sisters? Or do I don the weighted appearance that I am not yet sure of or ready for? Look around you. Nobody has their faith maximized. It is a constant struggle. No one can pretend to be figured out in this deen, in this perfect way of life given to an imperfect race of human beings. Wake up. So, where do we go from here? Just small followers in a big world, upholding a big religion and its big message, bumping into one another, and all we can see are the faults of others, and all we can do is focus and zoom. We are blind, fumbling around with no idea what the truth of humanity is. Wake up. You aren't seeing me clearly. You aren't seeing anything. You're seeing social constructs of what it means to be cultured. You're seeing a life that's trying to fill the perimeter of superficial ideas of perfection. Wake up and tell me what actually matters to you. The absence of a scarf does not signify that I am a lesser Muslim or that I'm ashamed of Islam. If I were, I wouldn't be here. I chose this faith because I saw guidance and light in it, and I claimed it for myself. A scarfed woman is a beautiful thing, but her story just doesn't tell my story, and we are not opposites. We are sisters.